You guys voted. You said you wanted chicken enchiladas this week, so that's exactly what you're gonna get. It's my favorite recipe for homemade chicken enchiladas. As you guys can see, the kitchen is coming together. We've got some doors and we've got some handles. I bought the countertops yesterday and those are supposed to be delivered in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So stay tuned, the kitchen is coming together. But meanwhile, I threw another survey out to Facebook and Instagram and you guys voted and you said you wanted to see chicken enchiladas. It narrowly beat out my lemon chicken skillet, which I have to admit is a great recipe and you can find that down in the description box below. But we're doing chicken enchiladas and these are based on my mom's recipe, the recipe that I grew up with the shredded chicken, corn tortillas, a nice creamy tomato sauce, a little bit of chili powder in there. So these are based on that. I've just thrown a couple tweaks in there that I think mom is gonna be okay with. So the first step to making our enchiladas is to start off with a sauce. And I base the sauce here on these chili peppers, which are dried chili peppers. These might be difficult to find wherever you are located regionally. So if you do not have these in your local grocery store or Latin food market, you can definitely go online to Amazon. I've linked it in the description box below. You can get your hands on these, but they're kind of fun, make a lot of noise. And these are just dried chili peppers. And all we have to do to revive these is take the top off. We don't need the top. And then stick those here in a bowl and then pour 2 cups of boiling water over the top and let that hang out for about 10 minutes. That's gonna soften up those husks, but additionally, it's also gonna start to steep and that water is gonna turn into a nice spicy chili broth. Now also, these are not super spicy. There are spicy varieties, so just check the packaging. Make sure you get the mild ones if you don't have a palate for the heat. But then once those have softened, we're just gonna add them here into our blender, juice and all, pods and all, the whole shebang. And then we're gonna also add in half of a diced onion. We're gonna reserve the other half for the filling. Oh, don't get, don't get juice in your eyes. It's dangerous business. And then I'm gonna take 2 cloves of garlic. And I'm also gonna take 15 ounces here of tomato sauce. Then just put a lid on the blender and let her rip. Next, it's time to start the filling, and we just take a little bit of olive oil here, maybe about a tablespoon's worth, and then we're gonna dice up the rest of that half of an onion, add that into the bowl, woo! Along with a diced up red bell pepper. And then to that, we just wanna add about a teaspoon of salt, a little bit of paprika, and then some Mexican oregano, although regular old oregano will do just fine as well, just for that kind of aromatic feel. And we continue to cook that down until those veggies get nice and soft, at which point then we're gonna take 5 cups of shredded chicken. So this is really great if you pick up one of those rotisserie chickens, or I have found recently that Costco does pre-shredded rotisserie chickens. The quality is super high, it's delicious, or if you've got some leftover chicken, and this is a great recipe as well. We just add all of our chicken into our bowl with our veggies. This looks like quite a bit of chicken, and it is. This makes a whole mess of enchiladas. You can feed an army with this recipe. And then we've got the sauce that we made earlier. We just add that straight into our chicken. And then at this point, we kill the heat and we're gonna add in some sour cream, which is just gonna do a great job of balancing out any sort of heat that might be in that sauce, as well as making it super creamy and rich. And then for assembling our enchiladas, I personally go with corn tortillas. I know some people really like flour tortillas. I just don't like how they get kind of gummy when they're covered in sauce. So I think the texture of corn works a lot better. But if you have ever worked with corn tortillas and enchiladas and had a problem with them falling apart and kind of being flaky, that's because you got to take one extra little step, which is really super helpful. And what you want to do is take a dry pan, heat it over high, and then throw each of the corn tortillas each side maybe about 30 seconds just to warm them through. That will help bind all of those starches together and keep them from flaking apart when you roll them up. So now that we have all our components, we've got our filling and sauce, we've got our tortillas, we also have some shredded jack cheese, and quite a bit of it. It's about 16 ounces worth of that. And then what we want to do is add a little bit of the sauce just to the bottom of our pan here, because we're going casserole style for these enchiladas. You know, sometimes you make enchiladas and they're more just kind of rolled up and served with sauce over the top, but the kind my mom made when I was growing up were served casserole style. And then onto the enchilada assembly. We take one of our corn tortillas here and just drop it into the sauce just to make it nice and wet, again, to help with the pliability of it so it doesn't fall apart on us. And then I stick it here on my work surface, and I'm gonna put down just a little bit of cheese here in the middle. Don't overfill it, just like the taco wontons last week. I have been known to do that in the past, and I have learned from experience overfilling never gets you anywhere good. So we wanna go ahead and add in some of that chicken, and then we just roll it up. And then from there, I add these all in a nice little line onto my casserole dish. And then we just continue that process until we fill the entire casserole dish and we have a full platter full of enchiladas. And then we just want to take some of this leftover sauce and spoon it all over the top, just because I love this sauce so much and you don't want these to be dry. So this will prevent them from drying out. And then because of course putting cheese inside is not enough, we need to then cover the rest of it here with the leftover cheese so that it gets nice and ooey gooey and melty. Meanwhile, I've had my oven preheated to 350 degrees and I'm gonna cover this with some tin foil and then stick that in the oven for about 30 minutes. What you're gonna see is after about 30 minutes, it's gonna start to get nice and bubbly around the edges. So that is just perfect. Then you'll take the foil off and then let it brown up for about another 15 minutes until that cheese gets nice and browned on top and nice and bubbly. So at this point, the only thing left is to find out, does it actually taste good? And well, I have it on good authority that yes, indeed, it tastes good, but I am here to do the hard work of taste testing just for you guys. All right. Pull out a nice piece. Oh, baby. Ooh, yes. Oh, it looks perfectly cheesy. Yes. Oh, perfect. It's nice and cheesy, not dry at all. Those corn tortillas have kind of broken down just a little bit in the cooking process, so they are the perfect texture, nice and soft, and of course the chicken's great as well. So I think you guys are really gonna dig this. I definitely recommend heading to the description box below to get the recipe for these chicken enchiladas, as well as all sorts of other recipes over at jonisimon.com. And if you haven't already, head over to my social media, because I'll do this again, asking you guys for input on what to cook. But with that, I think that's it for this week. Oh, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, because, well, let's just spread the love, right? 2017, lots of love going around. Let's go ahead and help spread it. But thank you guys for stopping by. I wish you a wonderful week. You stay out of trouble, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye.